The 1937 Aston Martin 1598 2L long chassis tourer. Aston Martin is not a company that is typically known for its pre-war cars. It enjoyed some motorsports success, but nothing like that of Alfa Romeo or Bugatti, and neither could it match the engineering prowess and niche-defining luxury of Cadillac. But that's exactly what makes cars like this 1937 and 1598 long chassis tourer such a good bargain. You aren't paying millions of extra dollars just for the badge. The company was beset by financial problems, surprise, before World War II, and it was in 1935 that a new range of cars with a broader consumer appeal debuted. Though this 1598 was part of the new consumer push and Aston Martin's first luxury 4 Seat car, only 24 units were produced before the outbreak of World War II. The car is actually closely related to a slightly earlier racing model, and like a lot of these kinds of pre-war cars, has been used both as a road car and a race car. It sat in storage for several decades after that before eventually being purchased and restored by the current owner, and it is now going up for auction by Silverstone Auctions. Continue reading to learn more about the 1937 Aston Martin 1598 2L long chassis tourer. Exterior. The 1598's restoration, which was started in 2011, was extensive, especially the body. An entire new body tub was fabricated, and then given high-quality paint. The chrome trim is still original, although the parts were taken off and re-chromed. New wheels and tires have been added as well. The new body is a copy of the original, made by Abbey Coachworks for Aston Martin. It was not unusual for pre-war luxury manufacturers to use several different coach builders for the same model, or to even sell just a chassis and let the customer take it to have whatever body from whatever couch builder they desired fitted. But although the 1598 didn't have its body made in-house, all of the 4-seat tourers had Abbey bodywork. The look is fairly typical of a sporty 4-seater of the time, and if that's your kind of thing, you'll probably like this one. Interior. While modern luxury cars have long lists of interior features, pre-war cars had a much simpler definition of luxury. This mainly came down to the quality of the craftsmanship and materials, which I have no doubt were first-rate when the car was new. But as a part of the restoration, the interior has been completely redone in bourbon hide and accompanying red Wilton carpet. The convertible top is new as well, unsurprisingly. Drivetrain. Pre-war Aston Martins all used 4-cylinder engines, and by this point in the company's history, they came in either 1.5-liter or the more powerful 2-liter varieties. This is a 2-liter model which produces about 100 horsepower. It was raced in 1950 at the St. John Horsfall Handicap at Silverstone, but not since then. Essentially, everything in the engine is new apart from the block and head. What makes this remarkable is that it was taken back to the factory in 1954 to be retrofitted with a dry sump lubrication system for the engine, a popular racing modification that prevented oil starvation during high-speed cornering. But instead of going back to racing after the conversion, the 1598 was used as a road car from 1955 to 1970, at which point it was put into storage. When the car was restored in 2011, the drivetrain received a lot of attention. This means that the carburetors and distributor were rebuilt, before work moved on to the engine itself, which was also completely rebuilt, receiving new valves, cams, rods and pistons and even a new crankshaft. Essentially, everything in the engine is new apart from the block and head. The transmission was rebuilt as well, and so was the whole steering system, the suspension, radiator, starter and basically every moving part of the car. The description even lists the battery as new, which is one part we probably could have just guessed. Prices. This is a very well done restoration job, but the car is not a numbers matching example, and will not be as valuable as an example that is, no matter how rare it is. Silverstone estimates its value at between £160,000 and £190,000, approximately $252,000 to $300,000, which is still plenty, even if it falls well short of the $1 million plus prices that the less rare DB5 usually goes for. It seems illogical, but logic isn't at the top of the list of factors for determining classic car prices. Competition. Morgan +4, Normally, listing a car which is still being manufactured as a competitor to a pre-war classic wouldn't make much sense. But in this case the Plus 4 looks almost exactly like the two-seat version of the 1598s, and that's not exactly a common thing when comparing a new car to an old one. It is only in the details where you can see any difference at all, but one of those details is the price, which is obviously a fraction of that of the Aston Martin. A Plus 4 starts at £31,750, about $50,000, and while the engine is the same size as the Ashtons, it makes 154 horsepower here. It might not be a real alternative for a serious collector, but for someone who just wants to cruise around in a seriously old-school car, the Morgan a far more practical route. You can read our review here. Conclusion. Pre-war cars from European luxury markets are the automotive world's equivalent to collecting works of fine art. They tend to be tremendously expensive, and the potential for the value to shoot up even further is always there. This one will run you about as much as a Rolls-Royce Phantom or Cadillac Phaeton of the same era, huge luxury cars which cost significantly more when new. But the 1598's rarity is one of the more important factors when looking at a classic car. And unless the bottom falls out on the entire classic car market, this one will only become more valuable. Love it. Not that expensive for such a rare pre-war car. Restoration was so extensive the car is practically new again. None of your friends have one? Leave it. You'll spend your days wishing it was a DB5. Driving an old muscle car makes you look cool. Driving an old 4-cylinder roadster does not. Hearing, really? That's an Aston Martin? Ha! All of the time.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.